at the way we've been going, you know, there have been some grave errors that have been made. But you hear Felix say, but which of those? Yes, but those were grave errors. And so what we should be doing currently is to be sticking to the books. Otherwise, you see what our 1992 Constitution has brought us, where it's brought us to. We've not gotten to where we should be getting to, because we've been tolerating mediocrity all this while. Because, and especially the middle class have been very docile. We've converted, democracy just to mean we set 4 years and then, we allow a few of us now to go and, instead of governing us, be ruling over us and do anything they want. So it is important that, we look at these things, and when the current president says he's doing a reset, then we should be doing an actual reset. And ensuring that we're sticking to the books and not wanting to. You see, when you are 34%, you are an F, and you are comparing to a -4, and you think that your 34 is good. That is not an A. And we should be seeking to be doing an A. So in all the situations, we should be saying that this is what the law says, and we're doing the law, but not go back and go and compare nobody. Yes, true. Nobody has done that in the past. And so, but that does not make you an A student. And for us, we should be seeking to do an A. And so for me, when I talk reset should be a proper reset, not a reset based on what, the former government did, which we all said was abysmal. So a typical example is when you then have a situation where, the president tells us about revocation when he was in, and now they come back, and then we are doing, we're attempting to do an amendment, and we won't deal with that. And now when we come to do the conversation, I'll show you some of these things that are beginning to happen. Then we need to deal with, and it will take all of us as the citizens, where the sovereignty comes from, to insist that that happens.
Okay. It's an essential point. It's a very important point that you
it is true. Yes. And indeed, I'm on all fours with Ken and Martin. But you see, things also have to be done structurally and properly. Whereas there is every cause to lament the exceptionally bad governance of the recent past, we must also acknowledge improvements over what we came to be. That is how societies are built. So take the Asset Declaration Law, for instance. There is an act which was passed by Parliament. That act is law. As we speak, it has not been struck down. So everybody complying with the Asset Declaration regime is guided by this act. If you go to Section 1, subsection 4C, it makes it clear.
Quoting from Act 550.
Act 550, 1998. It says that it shall be done in any event. In any event, it shall be submitted not later than 6 months of the occurrence of any events specified in this subsection. And the earlier subsections speak about before you get in, after every 4 years, and at the end of the term. But it says that in any event, after 6 months of the occurrence of any of these, if you don't do it, you are subject to the sanctions that this same act spells out.
Right.
So you cannot overlook this and say that any wrong has been done. What President Mahama is doing actually is an enforcement before the legal deadline set in the law. So we cannot ask that we should disrespect the law. Again, when we come to the LI matter, I will explain. It is true that there's an LI that is problematic, but there are practical steps you need to take to achieve that. And to achieve that, you need to factor in everything that will happen the moment you do it. So I will explain what steps are being taken. So whereas I understand the demand for things to be done a certain way, we cannot overlook laws, processes, and systems. If there are challenges with those, then we can call for the laws to be changed. But for as long as they remain, the president and his government are bound. It is just like the GBA calling on the president to violate the constitution because they are unhappy that he has exercised it a certain way.